I did like your pictures last night of you and Dick Cavett.
Yeah. Let me watch it before you play.
Wow. The previous photo of you and Dick Cavett, you both look so much better these days than you did in that previous picture.
Yes.
You were such a little tubby guy.
I really was. And I did that John Fugelsang show, which current TV was taken over by Al Jazeera. It's becoming Al Jazeera America. So they're pulling his show, which is called Viewpoint. And it's a good show to do. I mean, they really want you to come on and talk about what you want to talk about. And they're ending. So usually it tapes live, but yesterday they did a pre-tape because Dick Cavett was on. So me, him, and this comedian Jim David were on. And
You don't
Dick
think
Cavett's great, dude.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, we had him on once.
Yeah.
Remember?
He
He
really
had a good
is.
time with the guy.
What stories that guy's got.
Well, I'll tell you what we were talking about. We were talking about the N-word, and Dick was interviewed with John, and then I come out, it's just me and John, and then we do a three-person panel for like 4 segments, 2 or 3 segments. And we talked about the word nigger and how I hate when they say this and that. I hate the N-word. I forget what came about. It was about fraudulence and outrage, like I always yap about. So Dick came out and was talking about John Lennon when he was on his show and the stir he caused. But remember that song he did with Yoko called "Woman Is the Nigger of the World"?
Yes.
And that was a big deal. And they didn't. Dick said they didn't want to air the episode.
Wow.
And he goes, "I just got you, John and Yoko, the radio. You're going to air it." And he said the network. This is Dick Cavett way back then made him do an announcement beforehand that some people might be offended. This is not a new phenomenon. This has been happening for a long time.
You like to think it's some kind of new thing, but no,
not really.
For years they've been
like overreacting even in context. And he said that they got 40 complaints. He said all of them were about his mealy mouthed announcement. No one complained because what Lennon explained what he was doing and why he said it, and people knew the intent wasn't angry.
I want to hear that now.
I would like to as well if you can get it from last night.
No, I want to hear the John Lennon.
Yeah. Find him on Dick.
I want to hear the announcement
Cavett.
that
Cavett
tried to calm everyone down before the episode aired.
Yeah.
Dude, he was fucking. He interviewed Brando. He had everyone.
Yeah. Very well respected.
Ali. Yeah, guys like him. And I want to talk to Dick Cavett more about just his show.
The Dick Cavett Show.
Everyone yelled back then. The Opie and Anthony Show, starring Opie.
Tonight with special guests, John Lennon,
This is some of that jazz we were listening to
Yoko
yesterday.
Ono.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Dick Cavett!
Rupert
Cavett.
Pumpkin.
Right.
Wonderful. Rupert Pumpkin, ladies and gentlemen.
This was showbiz.
Oh, yeah.
Now people just walk out. All right,
yeah.
so what the fuck are we talking about today?
You had to do something before you got to this point. Now a reality star can just do this. They do a monologue.
Could you pause real quick? One thing I love what they do. Like you can see that he's on a big stage floor, and then you can see where the actual his desk and the chairs are on this. Like I'd say it's raised about 3 inches off the floor, but you can see that right next to it. It's like they don't make it look like it. They just show you that here's where it is.
Yeah.
It's really it's kind of like
so old school.
What's the word I'm looking for? Bare bones. There's something about it that's honest that I like.
Look how
Yeah.
well dressed he is.
Yeah, he looks good. That is true. That's right.
Jesus,
so now you decide to do the same thing, but you're dickhead.
Listen, I am afraid I have a major disappointment to announce. The tie that I wanted to wear didn't show up for today's show, and I'm going to have to go along with this one. No, the actual disappointment is that the Lennons asked that I not do a monologue. Because it... No, they... See, they find me so funny that if I convulse them backstage, they won't be able to come out here and
The
talk. So I'm
Lennons
not
were
going to do
very
that. But
odd
we really have a
people.
terrific show
Well,
tonight,
that's
as
not
you
true.
know.
I didn't.
Everybody's
Oh, I know, but
it's
they were
one of the
odd
hottest
people.
tickets in town. The censor has an oxygen tent standing by for some reason. I don't know why, because first of all, he thought it was going to be an easy day. He didn't know exactly what show we were doing tonight, and he heard the word beetle and thought it was a show on ecology and thought it was going to have a lot of fun. And now he knows who he is. And our censor is an older man and an interesting man, but a very fair man, and I have knocked him in the past, just joking. But we have an understanding now that from now on, nothing comes out of the show. And we think that that's a wonderful thing because you're mature people and I think have a right, want to. So,
do a little skip thing there.
Anyway, I realize that there's a tremendous request for autographs here tonight. But if you will leave your books, I will get to all of them eventually. And is this a surprise for me? I can't help noticing that maybe I shouldn't mention that right now, that in the second row are two people peculiarly attired. I think I won't tamper with that at the moment.
What is
There are
he
two people-
doing?
Pause that for 1 second. Sorry.
He was always a little weird.
But look at how. But look
He's
at
a
how.
great interviewer, though.
Yeah.
How imperfect it is. Like Mike
Right,
Douglas is
yes.
the same way. There's a sloppiness to it.
Yes, it
But
didn't
that-
have to be polished.
It didn't have to be douchey and perfect and polished.
Yeah.
And like that Beatles joke, maybe you would want to chop the fucking ecology joke. But it was like, this is what TV was. It wasn't everybody is an amazingly beautiful person and every single beat is absolutely perfect.
Right.
It wasn't this fucking sanitized garbage.
Yeah, there was
Colin
an
said that
honesty about it.
About when he was doing Tough Crowd. He goes, what do you want, a fucking polished game show host?
Yeah, yeah.
Like this imperfection is nice. When Carson would bomb, it was fun.
Right.
And it also leads you to believe that whoever is talking, or doing the interview with them, that they're going to be a little more honest because
Yeah.
they're able to go out there like that, show their foibles, and not be perfect. So you'd think they'd be a little more honest when they're speaking also because they don't need it to be perfectly polished.
Guys like him, and we've said this before, Mike Douglas, would allow slow moments. They would allow a moment of uncomfortability or like a little bit of fumbling on the air.
Yep.
Because that was how you are when you interact with people. It wasn't, okay, you got to get to the joke. Boom, boom, boom. There was a breathing that they allowed that made their interviews really interesting. And that's why he would have Brando out there for the whole fucking show. And he would get to talk to Marlon Brando for the whole show. Sorry. I love the fact that he's kind of just.
I don't know if this is going to where we want it to go. Is it?
Not sure.
Is there?
We get Bell. It's fine.
No, it might be. Let's see. This might be
a little
it.
more.
We've had a whole audience in the bag before, but this is interesting. Let us go away for just a moment, talk to you about something. We'll be right back after this message of interest with you-know-whom. And whom. I guess you all know that John Lennon, together with the three other fellows named McCartney and Harrison and Starr, were responsible for becoming, I guess, the most written about, most listened to, most imitated musical group of the 60s. And for about 8 years, they were leaders
Only
of the musical
8 years.
world. And not only that, but it probably affected what a decade of young people looked like and thought about and dreamed of. And they achieved the absolute pinnacles of success. They were even honored by the Queen, an honor which they eventually returned, I believe. I'm sure it doesn't come as a surprise to anyone that the Beatles are no longer together.
What?
In recent months, John Lennon and John has sort of surfaced in the underground press where he gave a long interview in Rolling Stone magazine, in which he talked with a great deal of candor and some bitterness, I suppose, about the old days. And his wife, Yoko Ono, is maybe one of the most controversial ladies since the Duchess of Windsor. Wally Simpson kept the Duke from becoming the king. Tonight they are, however, quite above ground.
This is gold, Jerry.
I'm very pleased to welcome them here. Will you welcome, please, John Ono Lennon and Yoko Ono Lennon.
Oh, he changed his name too?
Yeah,
God.
he was.
Well, she must
what a
have fucked
weirdo.
his brains out.
You think that
She
was it? Yeah.
she took that Beatle dick and fucking tap danced on
Like
it.
Mata Hari.
She
this one.
fucked his brains
Yeah.
out.
So his name was John Ono Lennon at this point.
I'm John Ono Lennon.
And she was Yoko what?
Oh, no, Lennon.
Yoko Lennon Ono. How did she say her name?
Interchangeable.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know where the announcement was. Maybe they made it before the episode actually aired.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe.
They
Wow.
were in love. What the
Pussy
hell?
whipped.
But Jesus.
You know what? She must have fucked. She did something to him
Yeah.
that no one's ever done. She probably said one thing that triggered this chemical in his brain that just
Yeah.
never fucking went. Like, he was probably eating a pussy one time, and she maybe grabbed his fucking head full of beetle hair and said, and she put her ass on his nose and said, "Sniff it, dog." She did something.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, she did something that changed his life forever.
Turned him into a zombie.
Turned him into a fucking zombie.
Let's hear a little more of that.
Yeah,
I want to
Sam.
see how the interview starts.
He's in his normal.
She was just ugly.
His normal army jacket, beetle boots, bell bottoms.
Hello.
How are you?
Nervous, but okay. Thank you.
Yoko's wearing a beret literally on the side of her head.
A little bit, but it isn't as if we've never met, because we did meet once.
We did meet in
Yeah.
a dingy hotel room.
Right. So you're Jack Lemmon.
Yes. And you're Fred
wait.
Astaire. Or is it Orson
I'm not
Welles?
Fred Astaire. Yoko, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good, good, okay. Is there anything that you want to know about me to start off with that we could, just to sort of get
What
the...
do you do for a living?
To get the...
That's funny.
Actually, this is my profession. I know
you
it's...
lived here.
Yeah, I practically do. I hardly ever get out of here. The chair collapses into a bed, and
It must be hard.
It's a bed. Do you have my kind of show
In England.
all over the world? I mean,
Yeah,
you've
they're
been
not quite
everywhere.
as good, you know.
They what?
They're not quite as good in England at repartee, you know.
Why is it?
Jesus, what an awkward
they're
interview.
more
Yeah.
inhibited, that's all.
The
You know, they don't have anybody that would sort of freak out a little.
Wow. Horrible
Unless
camera
Jerry
view
Rowe-
right
It's-
there.
Everything is
All right,
just so
this is just-
archaic.
Yeah.
That's gonna.
Just because it's John Lennon doesn't mean it's going to be
Well,
genius.
Lennon
Right.
did, but Lennon didn't do a lot of TV interviews.
No,
It's like,
no.
Brando was awkward when he came
It's
out.
terrible.
You see Brando when he came out, and the first
Yeah.
few minutes are weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Maybe that's worth playing.
Strange.
Find Brando on Dick Cavett. It was just when Brando came out, you just realized that even to Cavett, he's this, you know, he's fucking Marlon Brando, and he was just a weird guy. And yeah, this is Brando walking out. He's got a scarf on. This is after The Godfather, obviously.
Right after,
Bit
right?
of a pony. Probably after Last Tango in Paris, I'm guessing. He has a ponytail. And he sits down in those wonderful chairs.
1973.
He
Wow.
looks good there, man. He's like a little bit older, but he's still
Yeah,
thin.
he looks gruff. Looks like a tough guy.
Yeah. You can see he's moving his hair a little bit, but he still looks like a fucking... Oh, yeah.
Boy, what an ovation.
Yeah.
They love him.
Bigger than Lennon even.
And now he's just going to be a weirdo. Damn.
I guess, how are you would be as good as anything to open with.
I'm kind of weary.
Are you wiped out from the jet trip?
Yeah.
Jet trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate the amount of miles you have been covering to get here, and you were delayed, and it was a ghastly story, but it's nice of you to come and put up with it all. I'm so self-conscious. I don't know what to do, because we spoke on the phone for over 6 hours, and a lot of it was about
Jesus.
what neither of us can stand about this kind of program. To the point where I don't know how to avoid all that stuff. Will you help me as we move along?
Well, I think that we, I had a special treat because you allowed me to come into your life, and
Here's the funny
Dick
purpose.
describes his background as a young boy in Nebraska, which I think would be worth telling for about 20 minutes. You mind if I go into all that?
I love it. I've suddenly forgotten it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, have you seen any good movies lately?
Super Rich Shadow?
What?
That's supposed to be in my dressing room. No, that's
Looking
part
at
of
some
the,
tag on his
that's
desk.
really
Oh, I
part of the commercial. Where was I?
Wow.
Do you go to the movies? Come to think of it.
He's just staring.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is so
I'll tell you what
uncomfortable.
happened. we talked on the phone, and at one point in the conversation, you reeled off about 7 or 8 things that you had observed about me watching the show, about how I sometimes don't like people and pretend that I do, and vice versa, and about a dozen more, and they were so uncanny and on the nose that I decided I could never work again. And now I feel it. Would you like a glass of water?
A bug just flew out of my glass.
I know it. I'm terribly embarrassed. As he started to pour the water, a bug flew out. Probably a critic. Anyway.
Brando's just drinking his
Let
water.
me ask you an obligatory question, and we can get that out of the way right now. And if at any time I get into things that you don't want to talk about, give me a signal.
This is like
This torture.
Picture at you.
That'd be fine. If you had the Academy Awards night to do over again, would you do any of that differently?
Well, I don't think so, no. I felt that
He's talking.
that there was an opportunity for, since the American Indian hasn't been able to hear his voice heard.
That's the Colonel Kurtz voice, by the way.
or
Yeah,
have his
yeah,
voice
yeah.
heard anywhere in the history of the United States. I felt that it was a marvelous opportunity for an Indian to be able to voice his opinion to 85 million people. I guess that was the number.
How did
And,
they get him to do any work?
It's amazing.
I felt
How
that he
does
had
a
right
director
to
Unbelievable.
review
get him to do anything?
what Hollywood has done to him. And I was embarrassed for Shasheen. She wasn't able to say what she intended to say.
Good job. Yeah, you send up
And,
some American Indian woman
I
that
was
doesn't know what to
I
do.
don't even think she was American Indian.
Distressed that
Yeah, what
people
was
should
she?
have
Italian, I think, an actress.
booed and
Really?
whistled
I
and
believe
stomped, even though
hilarious.
Perhaps it was directed at myself. They should have at least had the courtesy to listen to her. But I think she did very well, and I was
His voice is amazing.
very
though.
glad that she did have.
I just
what
want to listen to him
opportunity
talk for fucking hours about anything.
to say what she did, and
But Zin is a pimp.
Your entire statement as you planned it.
well, I think that they felt
Well.
that it was inappropriate, and
Just pause for a second, because this is what I love
I
about it.
act-
Even though it might be hard to listen to on the radio, I don't know. He doesn't rush for anyone.
Man, right?
No.
He's just...
He just is. He's refusing to rush. Like he's not. He feels, unless he's hiding it, zero pressure to give people in the audience what you would think they want,
Anything.
and he's 100% saying what he wants to say.
Yeah.
And back in 1973, no one's turning this off. They're just
No one.
They're just mesmerized. Like, holy fuck, what's going on here?
Because you didn't hear these guys talk.
This was real moments,
yeah.
not polished shit like we were discussing earlier.
You hadn't read like 10,000 Twitter posts from Marlon Brando back then.
Or on TMZ walking out of an
right.
airplane with his fucking pants around his ankles. I farted, or whatever it is.
Right.
This was Brando speaking, and no one got to hear this.
Amazing.
Pretty fucked up.
All right, we should take a break.
Oh, yeah, I got some food here.
We got
I'm
food.
gonna eat.
Got things to do.
God damn it.
So you stay right there.
The Opie and Anthony Show. The Opie and Anthony Show. Sirius XM.